and had this hot woman dressed up in the Wonder Woman suit, and strutting around and being what she's supposed to be, which is, of course, the fapping object of teenage boys.
Hello, everyone. I'm Hugo.
And I am a man secure in my manliness, and by no means do I need to compensate in many different ways to be comfortable presenting myself to you, a peer.
So today we're doing something a little bit different. If you're familiar with Jake's Taking Out the Trash series over on Twitch, this will be a little bit familiar to you. We're going to be taking a look at a fellow YouTuber, both... I would say gentleman and a scholar, but even as a joke, that feels weird to say.
Yeah.
Coach Red Pill.
Coach Red Pill.
And his opinions on Captain Marvel, I presume before it came out.
It was before it came out. This is about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks before it came out, and there was this whole thing. If you've missed it, I'm sorry to inform you that there are some very secure and by no means insecure men throughout YouTube and Twitter and just the internet, probably Reddit, where a female-led Marvel superhero movie made largely for children and young adults and people like us nerds, they were mad about it.
Yeah.
They were mad about it because Brie Larson said some stuff that made him uncomfortable.
Both Coach Red Pill and a guy called The Quartering, I know in particular. By the way, for those of you who have heard about this Brie Larson thing, let me explain briefly what she said. If you want to, you can go look at the video for the full context. But essentially, she was just saying, hey, when people are out there giving movie reviews and stuff, the press pool tends to be mostly white dudes. Could we get some more diversity in the press pools?
Earlier this week, USC Annenberg's Inclusive Initiative released findings that 67% of the top critics reviewing the 100 highest-grossing movies in 2017 were white males. Less than a quarter were white women, and less than 10% were unrepresented men. Only 2.5% of those top critics were women of color. So you're probably thinking right now, like, wow, that super doesn't represent the country that I live in, and that's because that's true. This is a huge disconnect from the U.S. population breakdown of 30% white men, 30% white women, 20% men of color, and 20% women of color. On top of all of this, am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is that if you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is an insanely low chance a woman of color will have the chance to see your movie and review your movie.
That's what she was saying.
I think that's reasonable.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think it's like she's not calling to say that like white guys should not have jobs in the press or they should not have jobs reviewing. No. She's just saying like
it's very homogenous.
Yeah.
The opinions tend to be homogenous. I say this as a white dude.
Yeah, this sounds fine. So I mean, like, I don't have a problem with that.
Sure.
And if that makes you really uncomfortable, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe just be a little more secure, I guess.
Real quick.
Yeah.
We actually saw Captain Marvel.
Yeah, we did.
Let's do a brief spoiler-free review, just a minute.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Here goes. I liked it. It was fun. I think she did a good job, Brie Larson. I like Samuel L. Jackson in this. The technology they did for the de-aging was really good. The cat was fun, and Jude Law was there.
Yeah, same pretty much. I put it about the level of Doctor Strange. It's good for a Marvel.
7.5 to 8 out of 10. Probably not an 8. Probably 7.5, 7.
7.5, and that's mostly because I don't have superhero fatigue. I do have origin story fatigue a little bit, because they tend to be the same when it's the origin story. But I think the Captain Marvel sequel will be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see her in Endgame. So
that's it. That's the review. It wasn't great.
It's a Marvel movie.
It was fun.
It's crowd pleasing.
Yeah.
Now let's see what this guy has to say about it.
Brie Larson. I mean, she's like the gift that just keeps on giving, right? She's like the retard who can't stop babbling and babbling the dumbest stuff.
You're gonna notice this dude likes to edit between cameras a lot, which I get it. We only have the one right here, so
we could do multiple. Look, that was just the same one.
That's the same one.
It's the same one. I only have enough USB ports for this one. I guess I could get another one We could do several cameras.
I think we're bad at our jobs.
I guess. Do you need more cameras? Is that what you're really waiting for? More cameras?
Do you need to see more angles of this? No.
I'm going to do just profile shots. One whole video, just profile. Boom. Strong chins!
She is so funny. What is she? She's this moron, this woman who's a complete fool, who's doing the press tour, the press junket, in support of Captain Marvel. And what is she doing? She is antagonizing her future audience.
Little girls? He's getting mad at little girls?
No.
She's getting mad at little girls? She's like, hey, little girls, this isn't for you!
No, the target audience for this movie is 40-year-old men with large beards that are graying.
I'm almost there.
She is throwing shit on precisely the people who would want to see her goddamn movie. This whole, get woke thing that has hit the top 10% of the population, the people who are in charge of the marketing campaigns and shit like that. It's just so goddamn funny.
Corporate wokeness.
Sure.
Thoughts?
Here's the thing about this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, for instance, we talked about this a little bit when that razor, who was it? Was it Schick or was it...
Yeah, Gillette.
Gillette. See, here's the thing about this kind of advertising.
I forget.
I forgot, so it doesn't even work, apparently.
He's going to mention this.
The Gillette advertisement, I actually think the message of that advertisement was good, but the fact that it's coming from a company makes it a little bit vacuous.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, a company's there to make money, and the reason that they're marketing a thing a certain way is because the research they have done, the Disney Corporation, the biggest company, bigger than some countries by virtue of how much money they have, their marketing departments does studies and knows how to market a film and what things they need to put in their films to make it marketable. The reason that this whole woke brands thing is a thing is because apparently they've decided enough of their audience enjoys that sort of thing and will entice them to come see the movie.
Yeah.
It's not like they're really not. At the end, it's so weird to me that they think there's some liberal crusade. Disney wants your money.
If
That's
everyone
what they
was
want.
conservative, they'd be making like, Birth of a Nation 2.
Yeah.
Like, they would just do it because it would sell.
That's why I'm against, corporate wokeness. Well, I don't agree with, virtue, blah, 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 blah. No. But I do agree because the minute it goes, 51% the other way, they're going to chase the money.
Of course they're going to chase them. Of course they are. And so that's the thing. Like, you think it's some sort of conspiracy that the libs are... No, it's just that there's more of us than there are of you, and that's how you live in a capitalist society. So they're going to market towards the more of us.
Also... This guy hadn't seen Captain Marvel, obviously. This was before the movie came out.
Yeah.
The movie isn't some SJW message center or something. It's it's just a movie with a female protagonist.
It's not a great one. It's just a movie.
I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it's just a movie with a female protagonist with themes about being a woman.
Yep, because she's that.
Because these people, these ideologues, these fools, because that's what they are, these fools are trying to make their products be quote-unquote woke. And nobody wants these products that are woke. They just want good products. Check out what happened to the Gillette ad that basically shit all over men who are the primary consumer of their product.
As a man, I'm pretty much the straightest, whitest man in the world. I am like the prime straight white. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm very secure in that. Like, it didn't bother me at all to be like, hey, sometimes people are shitty. We're talking about the men portion of people in this one because we're Gillette. And sometimes don't be that. And if you could do your best to not be shitty, that'd be great. That's a good message. Again, it's corporate bullshit and they want you to buy their fucking razors. And I don't think Gillette lost a lot of money. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Gillette did a little bit of market research. Gillette probably made just fine amounts of money and will continue to do so in the future.
H-Bomber Guy did a really good video on this woke brands and explaining the concept behind it.
Right.
Also, this guy apparently, Coach Red Pill, has a really bad opinion of men because the Gillette advertisement did not say, all men, you suck. It said, if you're a piece of shit who happens to, catcall women and you're really violent and angry and just kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Don't be that. But he apparently takes this as Gillette calling all men shit.
I don't
That's
know.
not what the ad said.
To be fair,
not.
he'll give his opinion on how men are in a little bit, and
Yeah.
I don't identify with a lot of the things he uses to describe me. So I don't know. Maybe we're at an impasse there. Maybe all men, he thinks, in his opinion, are what I consider to be pieces of garbage, and he considers that to be a good thing. I know a lot of men. I'm friends with many of them. I don't know. Even my douchiest friends don't act the way this guy describes.
Yeah.
Is it weird that we thought about the same exact person when I said my douchiest friends? 1, 2, 3.
Dave. Hi, Dave.
Love you, Dave.
I haven't seen you in years.
It's okay.
They basically made an advertisement where they basically said that anybody who's a man is just a bully bastard and just an awful guy. You know, boys will be boys, as the slogan of that fucking ad said, right? And what does that make us feel? It made us, as men, feel like shit.
That makes me think you didn't even understand the ad, because the slogan of the ad wasn't boys will be boys. They were pointing out how the slogan boys will be boys is a way in which society deems to give little boys a pass for misbehaviors that they would not allow little girls to do. Little girls get in a fight. Oh, don't fight. You got little boys get in a fight. Oh, they're just being boys. That's the whole point. Apparently you didn't understand the thing you are criticizing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be calling the thing they are criticizing the slogan of the ad.
Right, if the slogan of the ad was, all white men are garbage, I think you could probably take umbrage with that.
Sure.
That isn't what it was saying. Literally in the ad, and I'm sure he's one of the people that are like, look at, most of the good guys in there are not white. It's like, who gives a shit? They're just men anyway. So, like, there were several examples of good men, some of whom were white, some of whom were not. Who cares? Who cares? How sensitive are you? I thought I was, I'm the liberal. I thought I was the snowflake. I thought I was supposed to be the triggered one.
Guess not.
I guess, like, I go into my Twitter mentions, and there's always one loser in there, like, you offended me by saying something. Who gives a shit?
Yep.
I thought they were just words. I thought you valued free speech. I had a guy in my thing today going like, oh, how do you were saying no one gets arrested with Jordan Peterson with C-16. So I was like, okay, who in Canada has been arrested under Bill C-16? Nobody. Sends me a link to the UK where a person was arrested for like 5 minutes for harassment, and one of the things on the harassment charge was constant misgendering.
Sure.
And it's like, that's harassment. And so I said to that person, fine, if this affects you negatively, like if you're against this and you think people should be able to be misgendered to the point of harassment, then I hope you get harassed every day for the rest of your life. And they're like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I was like, yep.
You get the point now?
You get the point. This guy, same thing. Same
don't
exact
know.
thing. Come on, coach.
It's just Razor ads and a superhero movie.
I mean, this is just,
It's not a
corporate. It should go boing, and it should bounce off you. Don't watch the movie. Don't do the razors. I mean, you have a beard anyway. I do too. We don't use razors, dude. Come on.
And so what did we decide to do, or at least what I decided to do, and just about every guy I know? Fuck Gillette, let's go with Schick, or any other fucking brand.
I went with Schick mostly because of the Schick Hydro bot,
Yeah.
which
You did personally?
is my ideal man. So
The whole woke notion, the whole idea of being down with intersectionality and shit like that, it's what is it ultimately? Ultimately, it's trying to appease women, and not even all women, because most women don't like these effete little soy boy cucks.
Okay, 2 things, a little bit to unpack there. Number 1, intersectionality is not just for women. It's basically, by the person who coined the term is a black lady.
Yep.
It basically is, if you're from one minority group and this person's from another minority group, could be a black gay guy, could be a white straight lady, right?
Sure.
They're saying intersectionality is the idea that, okay, we are both from marginalized groups, we can work together for common goals. That's all that is. Is that inherently wrong anywhere in there? You can debate whether or not the straight white lady is marginalized. That's totally fine. But to say working together is a bad thing? like in cooperation, I don't understand it. I think people who just, I think when they hear intersectionality, they turn off and they go, Anita Sarkeesian, and they lose their minds. So, second thing, effete feminine soy boys. I don't know if you've seen TikTok recently. I think those guys are pulling all sorts of dicks and vagoos. I think androgyny is about to be like if you're androgynous, that's the kink now. You win. As a I guess masculine straight white guy. Like I have envy. I have envy over the buys.
I always find it interesting when people like this try and speak like all women find this or that attractive. Not
That's
even
crazy.
all men find a specific one thing attractive.
Yeah.
There's a variety of things people find attractive, and generally, in cases like this, it just comes off to me as a person being insecure, and therefore trying to project the way that they try and present themselves as the ideal version of what a man should be. And it comes off as real insecure and odd. Just be the person you are.
Yeah,
It's cool.
I don't know.
And don't maybe make 20-minute videos on 13-minute videos on why you hate the superhero movie.
We're gonna make a longer video about why we hate that he hates the superhero movie for no reason.
Yeah, well, I have no self-respect, so there's a difference.
Hypocrites.
That are held up as good guys, feminist allies. I don't know. Most women like manly men. Most women like masculine men. They don't like soy boys.
Why do you conflate masculinity with the negative traits like just being an asshole? Because again, that's what the Gillette ad was talking about.
Yeah.
You can be masculine. Jake I find to be sometimes obnoxiously masculine. And I know he does it in jest too sometimes, but he's also not an asshole.
Oh,
He's an asshole.
No, but I'm not in a mean way. My asshole is in good spirit.
Sure.
It's not because I'm trying to make someone feel lesser.
No.
It's just because I say things quickly. And that's pretty much it. I for some reason I'm just like, I really like sports. I have a beard. I don't know, like I have a deeper voice, I guess. It's not super deep. But like, I don't know. I apparently this guy thinks that like, am I a soy boy though? I get called a soy boy constantly.
And by the way, if you think we're reading too much into what he's saying, don't worry. He says some really disgusting shit later that justifies what we are saying.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. I just let me know in chat. Am I a soy boy or an alpha male? That's gonna be a trash heap.
The soy of that many calories?
I don't know. I had a veggie burger or an Impossible burger today. It was delightful.
Right? The only ones who like soy boys are feminists. And how many people are feminists? What percentage of the population are they? Infinitely small, vanishingly small, microscopic.
Okay, then why are you bitching about it? If they're so minute and unimportant, then why do you care if they only like soy boys, who isn't you, so you don't want to date feminists, so you don't, because I mean they don't like you anyway, you're too manly for them. So I mean, like, what the fuck is I don't understand. Either something is a problem or it isn't a problem. If it's a problem, you have a reason to make videos and make money from your dumb fans. If it's not a problem, you have no reason to make videos and you're just a cunt.
It's the second one.
It's the second one?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why all of these, woke campaigns in marketing and movies and books and all the rest of it, they always fail. Because the only people who are interested in this kind of crap are an incredibly small audience. Practically zero. And of course, more to the point. See, sales is about encompassing people, bringing them in. That's what sales is about.
Historically, of course, Disney very bad at selling you their films.
Here's the thing that gets me about this, and this is basically the whole point of his video.
Yeah,
and
he's going to continue to elaborate.
The problem that people like him and like the quartering have is they see, how do I put this? 50% of the population are women.
Yeah.
However, the vast majority of film protagonists, especially in the action sci-fi genre, tend to be men. But Ellen Ripley, that was 40 years ago. If the first thing you think of is a movie from 40 years ago, maybe you've proven my point.
I think that kind of highlights the fucking problem, right? When you can go, oh, Ellen Ripley, Wonder Woman from a couple years ago, we're good.
Sarah Connor,
which, by the way, needs a man in the first movie.
you know what I can do? I can just name actors, and each have like 10 movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester fucking Stallone, Bruce Willis. Like The Rock! These are people who have built their careers around action. There aren't a lot of women who do that.
And granted, I understand why, right? Like, the action genre leans masculine. And it's totally on purpose. I mean, most soldiers are men. Most action movies some sort of have some soldiering background. It's totally fine. I don't care that there's a discrepancy there. It's not a big deal. But the fact that there is, and when someone does an action movie and goes against the grain there and puts a woman in charge, you lose your mind.
Well, because people like him, in my opinion, it seems to me that they see the standard, the natural way of things of men are in action movies, and they see any woman in an action movie in a starring role, generally, unless it's like Ellen Ripley, because that was made before they were born, and anything that's old is fine.
Are we going to count Star Wars?
No.
Neither.
But because Luke Skywalker's the protagonist, Rey now,
Rey
now,
the
new Star Wars, but he also doesn't like that shit.
Well, I know he doesn't, but I was just saying, like, is that an action movie? I don't think so.
Anyway, so, when the 1% of the time we do get a female lead character in an action movie like this, they feel like it is forced diversity, because when you have a generally homogenous thing that is leaning totally in your direction, when everything caters to you constantly in this genre, you feel like when someone else gets something catered to them, you freak out and you go, wait a minute, I'm the audience, I don't like that, therefore it must have to fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird because they're so on the cusp of understanding. You are now feeling how, let's say, a woman who is into action movies normally feels. However, you don't understand that, you just take it as an assault on the things you enjoy, instead of saying, hey, there are more movies being made all the time than ever. People like a variety of things. We're being more inclusive now. Not everything is made for me in mind. There are different demographics. There are different people with different experiences who are going to enjoy different things. The action genre is not owned by me and my demographic anymore.
By the way, women who are proud to be women and that want to be in the Air Force and stuff are people.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, this is part of the demographic that they'd reach out to in the movie. And, like, it's not for me. It's not for you, and when watching it, obviously I don't think he did, when watching it, I didn't think, this isn't for me! I thought, oh, it's cool that this is for them.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be for me. I don't know. Which
is so weird, because it's not even not, though, because you
enjoyed
it.
Yeah, it's not even...
Marvel movie.
It's not for me in that, like, the parts that were clearly for somebody weren't for me, but, like, Samuel L. Jackson's in that whole movie. I mean, if, like, Jude Law's there, we have some other people that I don't want to spoil and stuff, like, there's, there's people for me to enjoy if I don't identify with one of the characters.
It's a lot like Black Panther. It's a movie that clearly, demographically, not made for me thematically speaking and what it was trying to say to the audience. But, like, I still enjoyed it. It's still a really good movie.
Yeah. I don't know.
7.5. The Marvel movies tend to be.
Now, this Captain Marvel movie, right? It's going to come out in the beginning of March. I can tell you right now, without even seeing a single frame of that picture, that it's not going to cross the $100 million mark in its opening weekend.
In its opening weekend, Captain Marvel made $150 million domestically and $300 million internationally. It made like $450 million its opening weekend. It's now up to, I want to say, at the end of this weekend, it's supposed to be about $920 million.
It's a $1 billion movie.
Or close to it. It might end just under.
The Incredible Hulk sold 173 million? 134 million. The Incredible Hulk, no, just over its lifetime.
Yeah, he's one of the main Avengers, huh?
I'm just
with a different actor.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, obviously there's more popularity now, and that's not the point I'm making. Is not that the Incredible Hulk deserved more money, or that it's just I think it's funny. It was very manly, the Incredible Hulk. Man, maybe you should have watched a few frames, like just the trailers.
Yeah,
maybe. Ugh. Yikes, that's rough. No Marvel movie has ever come under the $100 million mark.
Yep. They're consistent moneymakers.
It was a very bold strategy to take the most successful franchise, the movie leading into their definitely highest grossing film of all time in Avengers Endgame, and to say, this isn't going to make $100 million. Are you really that disconnected from reality and what people like? You must be. You're Coach Red Pill.
The vast majority of people, and we're having this stupid, like, let me be clear. Both sides of this are fucking stupid. His video and the video you're watching right now. 99% of people who will see Captain Marvel have no idea.
They don't give a shit about this.
No one gives a shit.
I just thought it was very interesting how against this guy was.
Who cares?
It's so weird.
It's such a non-issue. It's fucking bizarre.
I mean, they can do all the media that they want, all the press that they want, but they are antagonizing the very audience that such a film would have.
Telling me that demographically other people exist and I am not the most important person in the world is speaking ill of you, apparently. I don't know.
Are you okay? Are you good? Do you need to talk?
Compare Captain Marvel to Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman campaign, was it intersectional? Was it woke? Fuck no, it wasn't feminist or any bullshit like that. It had this hot woman dressed up in the Wonder Woman suit, and strutting around and being what she's supposed to be, which is, of course, the fapping object of teenage boys.
Okay, I'm gonna have to defend the DCEU at this point, and that disgusts me. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
first of all, can we play this clip from Wonder Woman real quick?
I'm Steve Trevor's secretary.
What is a secretary?
I go where he tells me to go and I do what he tells me to do.
Oh, well, where I'm from, that's called slavery.
I really like her.
Seems pretty feminist to me.
okay, so, maybe my memory's not as good as it used to be.
Maybe we're getting up there in age.
However, I feel like I remember when Wonder Woman was coming out.
Yeah.
People like him were also like, it's not gonna do good because it's a woman. And in fairness, it's part of the DCEU. Fair to assume it didn't do well. However,
it was the best DC movie.
It's the best to this day. And yes, I've seen Aquaman.
I haven't.
I did not like it. Wonder Woman's still the best DCEU movie. Still not that great, but
I'd put it at a 6.5. If I'm putting it up against the Marvel movies?
I'd put it at a 6 if I put it against the Marvel movies. It's probably on... I'd probably watch Wonder Woman before I watch Thor: The Dark World again.
Yeah.
But that's about where I'm at. Okay. So now to get to the disgusting thing you said. Okay. Is it true that people find Wonder Woman attractive?
Sure.
I'm sure.
Gal Gadot's good looking.
There's Rule 34 everywhere. But you know what? Like, a lot of people find Chris Hemsworth attractive.
They sure do.
And Captain America attractive.
They sure do.
And all the Chris's, people just want
every Chris.
All of it.
Paul Rudd worked out too.
But the
Good
thing
for Paul.
is,
Mark Ruffalo also worked out.
People don't claim this is just a movie for girls to, like, what would, fap? Fap wouldn't...
Play DJ Vaggie Twat.
Okay, play DJ Vaggie Twat, too. He can find a character attractive because obviously superheroes are going to be physically fit individuals because of the nature of what the characters tend to be doing.
Well, they punch a lot, and you have to be physically fit to punch that often.
But,
punching's hard.
Maybe. It's okay if your lady superheroes don't just, like, wear almost nothing. He doesn't like Captain Marvel because she's wearing a traditional superhero suit.
If she was...
Which, by the way, you've talked about this. If you've seen the movie, she's not the only one who wears that outfit.
Yeah.
Men in the movie wear that outfit also. It's just a uniform. It's explained in the movie.
She also wears like a flight suit, which is supposed to sort of mirror in that it's also a military uniform that changes later on. And I thought the mechanism by which they choose their color is kind of dorky, but what's fine, it doesn't matter. Like it's just a military uniform. It's supposed to be it's supposed to serve its purpose, provide protection while still providing flexibility. It seems while still providing like pockets and shit. It's tactical.
The fact that you see the only utility in a female superhero character is for people to jerk off to.
Woo!
Doesn't speak well to your character as just a human being.
Boy, is there anything wrong with jerking off to it?
No.
No.
If that's the only value you find in it, though,
yes.
pretty fucked.
Yeah. Also, porn exists. Just Come on.
Rule 34 exists.
There you go.
I have nothing wrong with Rule 34.
Go on the internet a little bit. Go further than your YouTube channel, and you'll find some good. I'm sure there's Wonder Woman parody porn out there that with like actual stuff that's going on. Like Gal Gadot's titties aren't out in that movie. Like, are you seriously so like? What's the word I'm looking for? Like sophomoric, I guess. That like. Thinking of Gal Gadot's titties gets you off now? Like, still?
The internet just has porn.
It has it. Like, it's so weird that works for you. I mean, whatever, whatever you're into. I guess I'm not shaming you, but...
That's what Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman are supposed to be, okay? It's not complicated. It's very simple. Wonder Woman succeeded because it didn't fuck with its own audience. It didn't shit on its own audience. But Captain Marvel, intersectional, woke, feminist Captain Marvel, how do you think it's going to do? Not only do I think it's not going to break the $100 million mark insofar as its box office receipts, I'm betting that it's going to be a full-on flop. Unless the movie is like, Empire Strikes Back level of artistry and storytelling.
Oh, well, I could tell you for a fact it's about, as far as the artistry is concerned, I'd put it below the new Star Wars movies.
Interesting. Okay.
As far as artistry and writing, like, it's not that inspired. You know what I mean? Like, I'd put it at Marvel, normal, like, intro-level superhero movie. Like, this could have come out in 2009 as well as today. Like, it does. Like, the formula has not changed. It hasn't transcended anything.
I find it interesting that most people don't care. Even if it could, like, throw Marvels and then any character name right before Endgame's coming out, people are going to see it. And also, Wonder Woman did really well, and Captain Marvel is doing really well, because there aren't a lot of female-led superhero movies, and the one that exists is Catwoman. So,
oh wow, I forgot.
So
Benjamin Bratt is in that.
This is what I don't get. It seems like white dudes really like capitalism as long as they're the ones benefiting.
It must be like buy stock in Marvel and be happy when this does well. I guess I don't know. Like, what's the fucking problem here? In the movie. I think we counted, 3, maybe, things that you could construe as fuck yous to this kind of guy. One was the one...
Cockpit joke, steal the motorcycle, smile bit.
The motorcycle one was my number one, but
sure.
The one at the end when he's like, I don't need your help, to Jude Law.
But even that, it's just...
I know, I don't know if that is. I'm just saying, like, could construe.
Yeah, and they're all...
3, maybe? That's what I'm saying. Like, this wasn't preaching the whole time. You know what preached a lot more than this? Batman v Superman.
If there's even a 1% chance.
Martha! Come on, man.
There's no other way for it because it's antagonizing people. It antagonizes its own audience. It hates its own audience. And we hear it from Brie Larson herself. She hates white guys.
No, she doesn't. If you watch the clip, again, it's available in its entirety.
She even says, I don't hate, out loud.
Yeah.
Am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is other people besides white dudes like Star Wars and would love the opportunity to do a set visit. And I'm also saying I don't hate white dudes. I'm just saying we need to be conscious of our bias. And for the third time, I don't hate white dudes.
She's literally talking about how she goes to these press events and gets interviewed. You've seen them on YouTube and other places probably. It's the thing where there's usually a movie poster and then there's an interviewer and people from the movie and they ask, do like a Q&A. This is like a press junket, it's called. And basically what you do is the stars go to a place and then a bunch of different press people come and then they rotate in and out doing their interviews and stuff. And she was just making the point that, hey, 99 if not 100% of the people I tend to see in these are white dudes. She's not saying, white dudes, you shouldn't have this job. She's saying the voices in media criticism tend to be coming from one homogenous demographic, and therefore it's not representative of the actual movie-going public as a whole. 50% of moviegoers are women. It's a movie starring, and I believe directed by, a woman. about the themes are about being a woman. It makes sense that a woman would have an opinion
I don't know.
that might be more in line with what the movie is going for.
It seems really weird to be even like concerned about this movie existing. Like, it's just a movie. Like when it was announced, right, a couple of years ago or whatever, they did their phase. Was this 3?
Yeah, phase 3.
Did their phase 3 announcements. And Captain Marvel was on there. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Finally, we get to like see that.
Sure.
I didn't think at all that's a woman.
Nope.
What I thought is, oh, cool, Captain Marvel, Kree. That means we're gonna be close to like maybe a Nova movie. I like Nova.
Sure.
Nova's cool. Like, oh, and then she's gonna have those powers. I don't know a lot about Captain Marvel. That could be interesting. Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp is also coming out.
Yeah.
And that was the end of my thought process. Like, who cares?
Which is so weird because
I know.
it's not even like they chose the most woke version of this they could have. The first female Captain Marvel was a black woman. It could have been her. They picked
the one that's the friend in the movie.
Yeah.
Rambo was the first Captain Marvel, right?
Her daughter has the same first name, which makes me
Fair
think
enough.
they might work that in eventually. But my point being, they very much it's a corporate product.
Yeah.
They chose something that they could market as being progressive. Certainly, I don't think they're like upset about the fact that it stars a woman.
No.
Certainly not.
No, I mean, same with Black Panther. They were not
Right.
upset that was a black character, for sure.
But they picked, like, white, blonde Brie Larson. And I like Brie Larson, and I like Captain Marvel. But, like, if they were really going for, like, fuck you, white
Right.
men, wouldn't they have done that? Wouldn't they have gone for the older
I have no
black
idea.
Captain Marvel?
This is probably going to really upset Coach, so don't tell him. Coach, we're all gonna huddle up. You go take a knee, grab some water, okay? Everybody else huddle up. All right? Valkyrie is a bisexual. You know, the one from Thor Ragnarok. She likes ladies too. So, in fact, I think it's canon that the lady that dies in that flashback, that really cool scene, that was her former lover. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Break. All right, Coach, you can come back in.
The point is, see, a movie is a very expensive undertaking. A movie is a business venture. The idea of making a movie is to make money. You show a spectacle to people, an entertaining spectacle, and hope that they come to the theater, hope that they pay tickets to see your spectacle. Now, there are a lot of lessons from the disaster that's going to be Captain Marvel. And the principal lesson is, of course, know your audience and understand your audience and accept who your audience is.
Little girls with parents with money, I guess, is the answer there. And
Again, it's like Disney, the biggest media company in the history of the human race, probably did some market research. Also, this is just a fun little story. Again, this dude, he's so stuck in his own frame of reference.
Yeah.
It's like he's unable to
Yeah.
look at from another perspective. When I went to go see Captain Marvel,
Yep.
the first time, I saw it twice because I saw it once with my
For the
girlfriend,
record.
once with you, enjoyed it.
I want to preface this.
Okay.
You might hate children more than anyone I've ever met.
I hate interacting with
No,
them.
that's what I
but
don't mean. I don't mean you wish ill on them.
No.
I mean like you hate being around them.
Yeah, but I found this to be a pretty sweet interaction. I was
Yeah.
at the theater, and right behind me, there were two dads, it seemed like, didn't know each other, with their daughters, and they were just like, oh, hey, I'm Mike, or whatever the fuck, this is whatever, is this your daughter? And they had a little conversation, and they were both taking their daughters to go see. Clearly, these are two dudes who probably really enjoyed the Marvel movies themselves, want to share something they enjoy with their kid who they love, and now not only is it something they get to share, and the kid can maybe experience something they haven't before, which is seeing themselves in the hero on the screen.
Right.
Which,
And there's a big scene at the end of the movie
Yeah.
where she gets knocked down, and throughout the movie you've been seeing vignettes of her different failures throughout her life, and yes, she does go through struggles. She is not a Mary Sue. She's literally gaslit for several years. No spoilers, but I mean, she's like fucked with mentally for several years. And there's a scene at the end where there's a montage of her throughout her life standing back up after receiving punishment, physically or her own mistakes or whatever. And like there were girls in the theater, and you could hear their voices. Like, you could hear them getting excited about this, and I thought that was cool as shit. I would not have experienced that had I waited for it to come home, and I still would have liked the scene, but it wouldn't have had that moment. And man, like why would you want to take that away from little kids? I don't know. Like, that's who this is for. It's for children. It's for teenagers and children, and like people like us that already like comic books, right? And of course, beyond that, like Marvel has grown a fandom unto itself in the movies and stuff, and everyone just likes the movies in general. They're fun. They're popcorn flicks. They're not like here for deep cerebral thought. I think it accomplished its goal.
I also don't get, like, just as someone who enjoys this sort of thing, I really like superhero movies, but even I recognize that a lot of the characters are very similar and have homogenous backstories or maybe have similar life experiences. So I would like more variety in my superhero movies. Black Panther, for instance, well, it's not like the best Marvel movie by any means.
Yeah.
It had a very different location. It had a different look. It had different themes and problems that the other characters don't deal with. Like, it's just different. Why don't you... And I don't get it. As a fan, I don't understand why you wouldn't want more, but also different. And to include others in your fandom. Because, like, when I see Marvel movies, I'm like, great, I like when other people like this stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, and if more people like it, I get to continue to enjoy it because they make their money. And this is probably going to make $1 billion, right?
If not
during its run, probably more. But I mean, like at least $1 billion, I think, right? And that's like that's their second highest grossing film of all time if it hits the $1 billion mark. It's already the second highest.
Black Panther #1? No, Infinity War #1.
This is worldwide.
Okay.
Domestically, Black Panther is higher than this one. But the last of Infinity War. Is the highest, and then this internationally.
Okay.
And then Black Panther's like 4th or something like that because I think Guardians 2 might be higher. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Oh, by the way, James Gunn back directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Very excited.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike Cernovich, you lost.
Because, like I said, the audience for Captain Marvel are teenage boys and young men in their early 20s who want to see a really hot, kick-ass girl that they can masturbate to when they go home from the theater.
No.
It's young girls and early 20s girls and women that don't want to go home and fap after I mean, they might, but like... It's not about Brie Larson being hot, which, by the way, Brie Larson's hot. Can we agree?
I think she's attractive.
Yeah, I mean, Brie Larson's an attractive woman. I don't, like... That doesn't make her a sex object suddenly. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? That's so weird. I think we can... Like, there are some movies that they're selling sex, right?
Yeah.
Like, probably the original Tomb Raiders are a really good example of they're selling Angelina Jolie as a sexual thing, which is fine. I mean, I don't really like those movies, and I don't think most people do, but I mean, like, they accomplished their goal. They made her a sex object, and she also kills stuff.
Sure.
It's fine. It's whatever. Not great. But this is not that. This is she is a hero first. She is, and then she's a woman, and then she's the rest of her personality. At no point is she she doesn't even have like a romantic interest, which, by the way, people like this guy got very upset at. For some reason, I don't understand. Like, why does she need a love interest?
I don't know. I really liked the platonic friendship her and Fury developed through the... Not really spoilery, but just in the movie, they have
a buddy cop film.
Yeah, they have a good rapport, and I'm excited to see more of it. Again, it was just a fun... It's just a fun Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It's not groundbreaking. It's not...
It doesn't have, like, a crazy twist, or it doesn't have anything you need to see. It's just fun.
Entertainment. It's a Marvel movie.
Yeah. Has some good after-the-credit stuff for the next movie, and... other shit, but...
You might not like it, but there are lots of things that you might not like but exist in the world, like cancer and heart disease and poverty in Africa and shit. They're awful, yes, but we gotta work with what we got. We can't pretend that the world is different from what it is.
Wow, you are so close to self-awareness. It is like, it's like the fucking razor's edge right here.
Can I also point out that in his mind, Captain Marvel is up against cancer and, like, poverty in Africa. Why you got the wombs in my superhero films?
Man.
You got your intersectionality in my entertainment.
Is it even intersectionality?
It's not.
I don't think it is.
It's just a movie with a lady.
Right.
She's just, like, Coach Red Pill, this might come as a shock to you. Women are also people with internal lives that have interests and Beyond fucking you.
Yeah,
Shockingly.
well beyond that. Boy, oh boy. Like, a real intersectional film here. Like, if they were trying to go for wokeness, they would have had Samuel L. Jackson get pulled over by a cop, right?
Yeah.
They could have had a gay character.
Sure.
Every relationship in this movie that I can remember,
Maybe
heterosexual, all of them were of the same race.
Okay.
There was one single mother, and I don't know any, like...
Oh, also they mentioned that before the mid-90s, women in the Air Force couldn't fly
That's a fact. That's not a wokeness, that's just a fact.
Which is a fact, and one of the reviews I saw that was like this type of dude who was like, oh, it's so feminist. He was like, in the review was like, I don't even know if this is true or not, but it probably isn't.
Look it up!
Look it
it's
up!
True!
You're on YouTube! You're literally on the internet. I know you are because I'm watching you on the internet. You can look up that before you do your review and make a claim, you fucking idiot. Just makes me... It's just annoying.
This gives me a little bit of a warmth inside, though.
Yeah, I'm just... I hate that we have to be excited about some fucking consumer product just because it makes this guy mad.
They don't like the fact that the people who are going to go and see Captain Marvel are these, teenage boys and early 20s young men. They don't like the fact. They don't like the fact that they tend to be nerdy. They tend to be involuntary celibates. They tend to be, quite frankly, kidults.
Wait, I thought you said you weren't supposed to alienate your audience.
Yeah, are you talking
You're doing
to the
that.
people who presumably are Marvel fans who like you, Captain Red, or whatever his name is?
Captain Red Pill.
What's his name?
Pew! He's a Mary Sue.
Anyway.
It's Captain. It's Coach Red
Coach
Pill.
Red Pill,
Coach,
sorry.
huddle up. Hit the playbook.
Apparently, if you're a fan of his and like Marvel, he has considered you an incel.
He is,
Which, don't get me wrong, if you're on his channel, yeah, probably accurate. but-
probably, yeah, whatever. Come on, man. You just said don't alienate your fans, and you called them kidults.
And also, if you don't like the movies, why do you care what's in them?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know what? It's like having a real hard opinion on Spy Kids.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Like Robert Rodriguez, what a hard-working sir he is. Just
I don't give a shit.
cranking out those movies.
They still come out? I don't know.
No, they tried to do a reboot of fourth one a while back with Ricky Gervais. It was not good.
Oh.
In fairness, none of the Spy Kids movies are good, but, like, I can watch them because they're so weird.
I always get that and Shark Boy and Lava Girl mixed up, and
Yeah.
it's always because of George Lopez, and I don't know why.
Steve Buscemi said the most profound thing I think he's ever said in Spy Kids 2.
What's that?
Island of Lost Dreams. He plays a scientist who creates monsters, basically, and then hides in his lab to stay away from them because he's on an island. He says, he, goes off camera, pulls off his glasses and looks into the distance, and he's in the foreground of the shot, and it's like, do you think God, too, hides in heaven because he is afraid of what he created? It's like a...
That's amazing.
And I was like, Steve Buscemi! Whew. Deep.
Adults or young adults who still act like children. And that's a fact. And they act like children and with all the messiness and slobberiness of children. And that's a fact of life. That's their market. But you can't be providing a product for your market and shit on your market at the same time.
I know a lot of cam girls that disagree.
Oh.
It's a good joke. Good job, me.
Not if you want to sell. Now, in my own case, I know who my market is. Young guys who are a lot like me when I was young. Yeah. Do I wish I had a different audience? Yes.
Okay. Again, he just said you should have respect for your audience,
But
and he's now going to shit on his own audience to their faces.
You haven't heard this. It gets worse.
Oh.
What do you think he wishes his audience was? Because, boy, is Coach gonna tell you. He's gonna call a timeout. You're all gonna walk to the bench. He's gonna call the big play. What play is he gonna call?
Is he gonna be like, oh boy, I wish my audience was a bunch of women that wanted to fuck me because he's apparently never aged beyond 12 years old and his only thing he ever thinks about is random women wanting to fuck him? Am I close? Am I right on? Did I hit a bullseye?
Let's find out.
Yes, I do. I wish I had an audience of girls between 18 and 24, single girls, all of them really thin, blonde, beautiful, hot, and all of them, of course, just adoring me and wanting to just rip my clothes off, whenever they see me.
So, I feel like you had this guy pretty pegged down.
He's not a complicated individual
He
from
is
the little
not.
I've seen. How old is he?
I'm just going to look at him and say 50.
He wants to be... He's implicitly...
Plus or minus 5.
Okay, he's implicitly saying he just wants a bunch of, 18 to 24-year-olds to fuck him. Again, I think this speaks a little bit to
No,
his...
he's explicitly saying
Okay,
that.
explicitly. I guess I'm giving a little too much credit there. Let me just say, this makes you a creep.
Yep.
I don't get this.
Nope.
There's always an age of different things. The thing, it tends to be the formula is you can date someone half your age plus 7, which tends to be a good rule.
Sure.
When you have that much age difference, 20 years, what do you even talk about?
Fucking.
Like,
Talking about fucking.
is the person you're
It's not.
with...
Who cares though? I'm not even worried about the age. That's not what I'm worried about. If he falls in love, genuinely falls in love with someone 50 years younger than him, when he's 80 years old, I don't care. Right? Live your life. What the fuck ever. Do you? It just shows me the kind of fucking person you are, right?
The disdain he has for his own audience is a little weird. We make fun of our audience sometimes in a playful way, but, at the end of the day, we like that you're here, and thank you for that. And, we're glad you like what we have to say, and I don't disrespect you unless you're a piece of shit.
To be fair, they do want to rip our clothes off.
That's fine. We've given them enough signals to allow them to know that's also what we want.
It isn't, though. God damn it. Now you've encouraged them.
That would have made a truly great meetup in New York. But of course, that's not my audience, okay? I wish it were. It would be funny. It would be great for me, yeah! But that's not my audience, okay? And of course, the people who watch my content, I appreciate them, and I'm thankful for them, right? Do I wish them to be different from who they are? Well, in my own personal case, no, because my audience are, like I said, they're young men like I used to be. And in point of fact, I make these videos, as I've said many times before, for my kid who's 3 years old, whom I suspect that when he's, 20-something, maybe in his early 30s, is going to be like me, okay?
I have a feeling this is going to go one of two ways. Either your kid is going to be exactly like you, and you're going to hate him because he'll be a douchebag in that case.
Yeah.
Or he's going to grow up well-adjusted and think you're the asshole. And
then
he will also be right.
And then he'll hate you. Boy, does that resonate with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having a dad that wants you to be a lot like him. Didn't take. I suspect it won't here either. All right.
The people who made Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, at the head of the class, they hate their audience.
I don't understand. Again, I just want to point out, if we were, let's say this was a video that's anti-evolution or something.
Sure.
His claim
Yep.
is Captain Marvel's producers and Disney, I guess, as a whole, hates their audience by the way
Okay.
they're marketing this. He
Okay.
has offered no evidence to that effect. He just repeats his point over and over and over and over.
Okay, so I don't think Disney thinks their audience for Captain Marvel is the same audience that Coach thinks the audience is.
Sure.
And I've got to say, when one of the people is actively spending money to market towards the audience, and the other one is mad about it, I think the one marketing towards it with billions of dollars behind them and 100 years of experience, that's probably the one that's right.
Yeah.
Now, that's not going to be the case all the time, but boy. By the way, as a side note, Disney, again, we mentioned earlier, Disney will pander to you depending on who's going to give them money. Have you guys seen that clip of Mickey in blackface?
It's bad. Disney also, this is interesting, and this is what gets me. He's so, this guy could be spending his time, criticizing maybe capitalism in general for some of its, less good bits, but instead he decides to pick on this feminist thing? Like, why? Why is that the
I don't
thing?
know.
This is a natural endpoint to what...
To what? Yeah, and
To
I mean,
the system.
I assume because I think he's probably leaning. I could be
you
wrong.
You don't say.
I could be wrong, but I'm going to strongly suspect because I've seen other stuff.
Sure.
Here, I would suspect it's a very capitalism centric, and I'm by no means a tanky or anything. I find
I'm
value
not
in
either, but-
I find much value in capitalism to a point. But like arguing that I want capitalism and then having the results of it put in front of you.
And you don't like the results, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. Pick one.
That is such a weird phrase I've never understood.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. When you eat your cake, you no longer have it. You can't have your cake.
You can't
and
eat your cake and have it too. Would be better.
Okay.
Well, it would. I'm just saying you can't eat your cake and then have it.
Okay.
Right? You can have your cake and then eat it. Galaxy brain.
Never fall for that trap. Never fall for the trap of wanting a different audience, a different market, a different demographic from the one you've got. You've got a certain demographic who are your clients, a certain audience, a certain whatever. Whoever it is who supports you, you have to accept them.
As we all know, as all marketers say, be happy with the audience you have and never try and get new customers. What? Does he even listen to the things he is saying? Marketing is all about finding new people who are unaware or unfamiliar with your product and then getting them to buy it, which is what they are doing.
Did Coach go to school for this? I don't think he did. Like,
I didn't either, but that's just like, I understand what marketing is and its purpose.
well, I
so
know,
it
but
seems
like,
pretty intuitive.
he seems to talk from like this air of authority. I don't know if it's just because his beard got some gray in it, and now he's like, I'm wise.
That's why he's got the 5 different cameras and switches like
I
angles
guess,
constantly.
I guess.
Makes him seem legitimate.
Like back up a claim with any sort of evidence whatsoever, right?
Sure.
Just any of it. And it's never that. It never is. It's the same shit like when I have Undoomed on my channel or like it's the same thing. It's just no, it isn't like it is. Yes, it is like it is. It is like it is. 'Cause it is.
They are so fucking woke. They are so intersectional. They are so fucking feminist and just aware, quote unquote, of all the social injustices going on and all this bullshit, right? That they have alienated their audience. They are woke and now they're going to go broke. There are lessons to be learned here.
$920 million by the end of this weekend.
How much?
$920 million.
By golly, that's only $80 million away from $1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
And Kevin Feige, who runs the whole Marvel movie franchise, he's a smart motherfucker. And what's he going to do? He's going to take a lot of lessons from the Captain Marvel fiasco. Let's hope, rather, that he takes lessons from the Captain Marvel fiasco. Because if he doesn't, if he continues pushing this woke marketing and this intersectional bullshit, if he keeps on shitting on his own audience, that audience is going to leave. And where will those $100 million, $200 million, $300 million movies be without their audience?
That's like a bad showing for a Marvel movie, by the way, making $200 or $300 million.
I think even Ant-Man and the Wasp made like $600 or $700
Right.
million.
I don't think this guy knows the figures.
No, I don't know.
Why wouldn't you look it up at least before you start talking about it? I mean, I guess I'm never surprised. I shouldn't be, at least. But, like, there's no facts here. It's just this guy's wild opinions, which is fine. You can make an opinion piece.
That's fine.
But when you do it, when you say, these are the facts of what are going to happen, like,
and then goes on to explain his feelings on the subject
God,
for 13 minutes.
My goodness, it's just so bad.
It's fine. I disagree with him still, but it would be fine if he was like, hey, here's what I think's going to happen. But he's like, no. I got my finger on the pulse of the incel community.
You don't, bud. So that's the end of that. Oh. Maybe we'll see if he did a
Follow-up?
recap to that.
After the movie came out and made a bunch of money.
I haven't seen it, so I have no idea what he's going to say. The arguments I have been hearing though are,
oh my God,
Disney's buying the tickets up.
If that was the case, why didn't they buy all the tickets for A Wrinkle in Time when that did terribly?
That they marketed the fuck out of.
Or The Lone Ranger, or Pirates of the Caribbean 6 or 5 or whatever the last one was. It's almost like you're coming up with crazy conspiracy theories because you were wrong and you don't want to admit it. It's fine, just say it's okay to be wrong. We're wrong sometimes. It's fine.
Not about this, I don't think.
Yeah, because our opinion, we don't have a strong opinion. We're just like, it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's fine.
And it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, if you think this is the best movie ever made, I'll debate you on that.
Sure.
Because you're wrong.
It's a pretty fun Marvel movie,
It's
though.
fine. It's fine.
It's like next to Doctor Strange for me.
What's below it? Doctor Strange and then... I don't know, like, Civil War?
No, I think I liked Civil War a lot, but a lot of that has to do with, like, Spider-Man
Right.
introduction.
Did you like Civil War more than you liked Doctor Strange?
I'd say
That's what
so.
I mean.
Yeah. What else could I put around it?
Thor...
Black Panther. It's about as good as most of the strong solo movies.
Yeah, I say Black Panther is like right around the same for me.
I put it around the same area as like Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as good as Captain America: Winter Soldier.
No, Winter Soldier was pretty good.
I tend to like the Groot movies though.
Yeah.
But it's
I think Black Panther is right around the same for me. I think Black Panther was a little bit better movie, like from
better than the first two Thors though.
Oh yeah. Better than Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
For me, better than Iron Man 3.
I also agree
I like
on
the
that.
first unless you isolate the first like act and a half of Iron Man 3 because I like the Tony Stark bits.
Sure.
After that,
The Guardians movies I almost don't even want to put on a list because
Guardians
they're so different than the rest of the movies and they're so much better generally.
Ragnarok is really high up there.
That's a good
Taika did a
comedy.
good job. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a fine movie. Let me know how you felt about the movie in the comments if you want. Like, if you have anything. If you think we're just I guess thinking it's fine to have a woman is now a political statement. I guess I don't even think this is a lefty thing. Like,
It's just weird.
it's just
find it
weird. Yeah,
that he cares
I don't
that
know.
much.
If you care just a bunch, write your comment down below. I won't read it, but other people will, and that's fine. So, yeah, I don't know why you'd be upset about this. It seems childish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's things you can get outraged about. Go defend the Second Amendment or something. I don't know.
He cares. Like, I'm a person. I need you to understand. I don't know if you've seen this stuff in stores. They sell like Marvel Legends. It's like
Yeah, you own that kind of shit.
like full size Iron Man helmets and
Yeah.
like Thor hammers and Captain. I've spent collectively at least $1,000 probably on Marvel merchandise.
yeah,
Still, Captain Marvel just pretty good. I enjoy it.
yeah.
There are other better movies. There are worse movies in the franchise.
Yep. I mean,
It's good to be inclusive. Just to have
Yeah.
allow more.
it's not the
people.
reason I went and watched the movie.
No.
I would have seen it if these politics weren't happening with it. I still would have seen the movie and felt the same exact way. It didn't inform my opinion on it whatsoever. I thought it was a good movie. I guess maybe the only part that was informed by my politics, or that it was nice to see a positive message for little girls. But like, I feel the same way about it when it's like
Little boys.
when
or
little boys are
anything.
being told that they can like do a specific, like, whatever that thing is, or like how Black Panther was like he went to the inner city and at the end those kids were like, holy shit, that's so cool, and they were like going to help him. Like, I thought that was cool and a good
Sure.
message. I mean,
Not everything's for us.
Yeah, I
and
don't know.
that's okay.
anyway, so
Most things still are, and you know what? Even when they're not a big deal.
So if you like this video, maybe we'll do some more of them. I just thought this was interesting, and Hugo and I have been talking about Captain Marvel on and off for a while, and I wanted to do something there.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, whatever.
I also find people who are really, really mad and have a lot of vitriol for Brie Larson because, like, she seems like not.
Smile more.
They even had an interview where she played with a bunch of puppies. She seems like a funny person.
She seems nice. I don't know. She's doing a new movie. Samuel L. Jackson
Yeah,
again.
I think she directed it as well.
Yeah. Anyway, Quentin Tarantino apparently is a piece of garbage, but I'm going to go see his new movie. So I mean, like,
Oh no, what did Quentin Tarantino
I
say?
don't know. Well, no, Uma Thurman took umbrage with him
yeah.
for that car accident
I
thing from
remember.
Kill Bill 2.
Sure.
And so I guess, and that's a Weinstein Company thing, and apparently, anyway. I'm gonna go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You see the fucking poster for it, though?
No, I saw the
It
trailer.
looks like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
It's kind of funny.
Anyway,
Yeah,
have a good night.
I'm going to see Jordan Peele's Us in an hour.
Oh, God, the politics of that movie.
I was going to say,
a good horror movie made by a black guy.
Forced diversity in my probably the best horror film in years.
Well, since the last one, Jordan.
Since the last one he did, because he's a good writer.
Yeah. Let
And
me know how
it
it
has-
is.
Okay.
I'm going to go see it, probably.
Sure. I might do a review on Unpop. I'm also going to be doing Doctor Who Cares review on Unpop, because he didn't finish last season yet. But
I'm a bad guy.
I got a camera and microphone at home. Going to do that either tomorrow or this weekend or whatever.
Cool.
It'll
So,
be up.
yeah. Sorry to force diversity upon you, if in fact you're not a white guy. Have a good night.